Thought I had everything set up except where my camera was sitting. Alrighty. So I am back to tinker around with these guys. I was thinking Huggies might be a fun thing to do, and now I just realized I have a thing I do need. I don't know if those are gonna be bad enough for Huggies. These are probably better. Yeah. I don't know if that's gonna sit in there. Will it hold it? Yeah, it'll hold it well enough. It doesn't snap in, but it will. Okay, whatever. That now only sets in there too, so whatever. Should be able to sit in there and make that work. Okay, so couple of thoughts and a big story. It's all right, guys. Guys. Hey, come here, Carmi. Karma, come. Karma, come. Hey, you don't need to bark at the thunder. Come here, baby. He's a good girl. Come here. That's all right. Okay, sorry. The little princess needed to be allowed to know that it's okay. All right, so these aren't exactly huggy cutters, but they'll make good huggy cutters. So that's what I decided. I picked something that's a little bit longer than that is. I'm assuming we'll need, I'm just guessing here, I'm assuming we'll need enough. Who's that that needs a hug? Oh, Loki, come here. Come on, Loki. Come on, up. I got you. Okay, you guys want to say hi to Loki? Loki gonna, I don't know if this will let me fit it enough to say hi to Loki. Loki, if I stick your head under. Nope. Because it's auto gimbal based. Oh, there we go. Oh, we're upside down now. Loki! Loki hiding. Nope, not working. So there you are. There's Loki. Okay. It wants to be on the desk because that's what I told it it's supposed to do. Oh, you can say hi to everybody else that way, though. Hi, guys. Come here. Who's here? Everybody come say hi. All right, Loki, go hide. Go hide somewhere. Yep. There's the gremlins. Alrighty, back to work. Uh-oh. Oh, no, I messed it up. Okay. Where are you catching? That's where you belong. Right there. Shouldn't have touched it. All right, guys. So back to what we're doing. All right, so I also kept a couple little scraps. I try not to colorize too much of the silver clay because it takes so much to do these sets that I don't want to get rid of it. But I wanted to play with a little bit of like powder or something on those just to show you guys the difference in embossing and debossing and how to colorize them a little bit. And we're gonna play with that here too. Yes, I know, Loki. I know you don't like it when it's stormy. Yes, I'm thinking that will work size-wise. Bigger one. And these collapse a little in if you use them without the crossbar. By the way, I am working on getting these all printed up, photographed, and actually put on the website. They won't be on Etsy, but they will be on the website. Yeah, so it makes it a little harder to line it up. So I'm going to start by lining it up, and then I'm going to lay that onto it. Oh, cool. Even think about it because I've got the center mark on that. It actually lets me center my moon and stars and stuff. Okay, looks like I've got that perfectly lined up. Gently set that into there. Use that to cut it out. And give it a little wiggle wiggle. Don't be tippy, just wiggle wiggle. There we go. And I'm going to leave you sitting right there. And then I'm going to set this one up. Try to get you as centered as possible. It can be easier to use the camera to do that. Wiggle. Alrighty. And then pull that up. And I managed to go back through and get a little bit sharper edge on these, but it didn't work in the see-through, so I had to go back to a solid color. but the edge is just a touch finer on these, so these actually cut a little bit better. What's going to be on the website will be, I'm actually printing a setup for myself too right now. Um, but yeah, I'm going back to the regular edge on it because I think it works better. It's a little easier to see through it because this clear lets a little bit of light in, which I liked, but I don't find it to be as secure, and I definitely don't find it to be quite as good at cutting the edge. Because I can put it just a tiny bit thinner if I, is that the one? Yeah, that was the one. I can get a little bit finer of an edge on it if I do it with the regular resin. So, or the regular, yeah. And I think I'm going to go ahead, or should I do those as like earrings, as like dangles? I think I'm going to do that set as dangles. So this is a 60. So I'm going to grab the 50 and hope that works. Oh, that's perfect. Okay. And that will work on the little cross member. Go. Put that off. And the reason I was checking on the sizes is I have, they're every 10 millimeters in the main box set. And then I have them on the 5s up to 45. So I've got 15, 25, 35, and 45. Um, so if I wanted between 50 and 60, I don't have it, but I do have between 40 and 50. And wondering if I should cut that out and then back it on something or just do something else for the, trying to see what I have over here in my scrap pile now, because I could do a whole different necklace pendant that doesn't have the moons that way. Let me see what I have in this pile. So what I'm eyeballing is that. It's probably my best bet. For a necklace charm to go with this set. Or with those. I think that'd be cute. Alright, that's what I'm doing there. Okay, so you are now scrap to the scrap pile with you. And then this I want to go ahead and cut out. So those are a little narrow. So then the next set up is this size. And next height, so that should be a 60 again. Yeah, that's a 60, so that's the same height as those. And twice as wide. Or do I go with the 50? And just have it be kind of a smallish one. And that's the right width. I think I like that. I definitely like having the little cross members. Very helpful. And then I also have that. So if I'm really having trouble with my hands, those are amazing. So yeah, and that lets me actually like palm it, and it gets a little bit of wiggle wiggle. And then I have a bigger one, which will actually even work on that. So you don't even have to have the tiny, tiny one. But yeah, so kind of the way these are built is I didn't do them as cool as Sweetie Bijou's set, and I had to completely build them from scratch. I'm not stealing her designing, but it is kind of a spin-off of her idea. So they are able to do this, which is really cool because it'll center it. Or I have a straight bar one, so you can just use a single straight bar and then you can put this wherever you want. But if you want it centered, it has that helper option. But more for having the handhold, the pressure point on them. She doesn't make anything like that. So yeah, that's kind of when I was like, I'll build these and sell them because they're cool. I'm always so funny about leaning into what other artists make, because people put a lot, I put a lot of time and effort and energy into designing this stuff. But yeah, so I don't want to rip anyone's ideas off, but I'm building mine differently than she builds hers. Hers have more options in one direction, I have more options in another way. Apparently I need to let Elvis in the room. Thunder. Um, yeah, and it's always such a sketchy, sketchy thing when you're playing artist, because ideas are ideas, and it's silly to never be able to expand on each other's ideas. I think it's an extremely important part of being artists, is seeing something and making it your own. Um, but at the same time, you don't want to steal people's ideas and make money off of what other people, put their blood, sweat, and tears into. So like the Timu crowd, you buy something off of Timu that, someone like me or Sweetie or any of us make, and like put all this time and energy into designing, and then you just run to Timu and buy it there for half the price and without the quality, so you're losing kind of on both ends a little bit. But yeah, it's I think in a lot of ways it's important to support the creators and the crafters who make the things, because I mean, at the same time, a lot of you guys are crafting and you want people to come in and then support you. I'm not saying get angry about it, I'm not saying be dramatic about it, because it just is what it is. It's going to exist, you're not going to make it stop, but you can make the conscious choice to make those decisions when you're faced with them. Sometimes you need to save the money, I get it. Sometimes the quality of the product is worth it. Sometimes the ethics of supporting the person who made it in the first place is totally worth it. So yeah, that's kind of my artist soapbox. But yeah, so much love to everyone out there that does create and does take those ideas and expand on them, make them from one thing to another to another. Because that's kind of what is so cool about art, is it stacks, it compiles, it grows and it develops. And you can't do that if people get stingy and pissy about anyone touching their idea or using their idea. I mean, it's someone makes it better than you do, then you take that idea and be like, oh, I could take it this direction and take it even further. And then really cool things get made that way, instead of people being stingy and internet warriors. I mean, yes, we support the people that you care about, but at the same time, it's like, allow a little bit of room for that. So there's everything's a fine line. Everything's got its little ups and downs. Anyway, so I am not sure how I want to colorize these. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to these first and play around with colorizing. I was thinking about laying in some of the pan pastels, not that, but the teal colors. I wanted like the darker blue. That's such a good, wow. That's a really, really good dark blue. I don't know if you guys are quite catching the matte to the color. Ah, there we go. Is that helping? Yeah, on my computer screen it now looks right. It's a very pretty dark blue. So the pan pastels are a pastel, they're a matte finish. Okay, so these are all in the turquoise family, and it goes kind of greenish. Or actually, that might be phthalo green is what that is. Oh, well, we've got a little bit of that now on our project. Well, that might be in there. So the dark version is really dark, but the mid version is a really pretty color too. I might leave. Oh yeah, actually that will stay out. So we might play in. I might need to go back and grab the purples. I'm gonna try to leave it here so you guys can kind of see the palette I'm playing with. I need the purples in here too. Let me see. Yeah, okay. I want the purple in here too. And do I grab? Yeah, that's a good dark purple. I'm gonna have no idea what order all this stuff was in. And yes, I have a really bad habit of buying the whole set of everything. I know, guys. It's terrible. It's magenta. Oh, it's good. These dark colors are gorgeous. Okay, now I have too many options. Holy crap, this was a bad idea. All right, so, yeah. Whoops. All right. I'm going to cluster my dark colors. I'm going to cluster my light colors. I've got my medium, not bright tone. Okay, and I didn't leave myself enough of this to play with. Man, do I need to bring some more scraps back over? I don't know. I can roll more out. All right, so these are kind of the game I wanted to play was just the difference between embossing and debossing. So these are debossing, these are embossing. I can lay a background color here, and then I can highlight the features that come up. So that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to use slightly darker colors here. Let me grab a brush because I'm going to need it to lay it down. What do I have for a good brush for these? I don't know if I like a brush better with these or, oh, I got a lot of, I used the brush the last time. Glad I checked it. Okay. I don't know if a finger, so usually the way I use these is I like to just kind of finger dab them, but I want it all in there. So I don't want that relief thing happening. So I do want a brush. I think it needs to be a brush. Oh, a better brush. That's a little firm still. It's super soft, so it's just going to fill up with all of it, but it should also be able to put it all in there. I go back to that dark purple since I already started there. Come on. There we go. Doesn't pick up tons of it on the brush. If you like finger dab it like you saw me do there, it picks up a lot of it. That's fascinating too. I haven't played with this on metallic before. It actually that's a good bit of metallic through. That's good to know. All right, going from purple to blue. Let me do this magenta, dark magenta, real quick. Oh, that's good. That's really good. I'm dusting up those palettes real nicely. It's going to be very messy the next time I go to do anything. Do I go navy though, or do I go into the phthalo green tone? No, that's too dark. Oh yeah, no, it's not here. It was. That would be pretty with it too. Which was the dark green. Oh, that's another color are you? Ultramarine blue extra dark. Phthalo blue extra dark. And that's phthalo green. It's already dusting everywhere. Touch of green in there. No, I think if I use the green, it needs to be the brighter. Just a little. Yeah, just a little. Just a little so it shows up in both of those. Okay. Blendy, get blendy, get blendy. Should I throw just a hair of that navy in there? Yeah, I really want those moons to be kind of darkened behind them. Dude, sorry, I'm getting mumbly, guys. Once I start getting lost in thinking. A little bit more. And set that in there. Okay, so I'm going to use the brush to just kind of try to convince that all that it wants to just blend in and lay in there. I think I want just a touch more of. That's so interesting. This bright green doesn't want to. There we go. Didn't want to lay in on this one very much. Yeah, it's wild. So that's really interesting too. Is how much the colors set in here with a different tonality than on the flat clay, because there's that bit of texture to it and the sheen to it, so it kind of picks up a little bit of a different tonality there. That's fascinating. Okay, so now that I have messes everywhere, let's change mess. Oh, let me show you guys the label on that before I open it up. Aqua Bronze, my favorite stinking stuff. I don't know why it works so well, but it does. I dust just a little bit on my finger. I've just the tiniest bit in there too. So and let that move around. And I might pick up the brush and kind of a little bit of a fingernail in there. Now it has no color in there. Maybe. Oh well. Yeah, that works. Okay. Tap a little more. Yeah, so the aqua bronze stuff is kind of awesome. I like it for highlighting stuff, and it's got such a good, brilliant color, like metallic tone. It's just stunning. So cool. Just watch the way that lights up as you lay it in. Yeah, pretty. Dab a touch more of it. So at the moment, the bottle's still full enough, I can just touch the top and grab some color. I want to make sure that that is slightly dusted because this is the more subtle of them. You just very, very gently your finger over. I'm going to wipe that off because it's picking up a little bit of the dark color. I'm going to take a little bit more and I'm just going to hit it one more time. Pretty. So that's one way to do that. Now we need to pick another. So like here, what's down in, I still almost think that painting this in with the darker colors would still be really pretty on this. Alcohol inks are another option. Do we want? No, I've already got this mess out. How many messes can we make in one sitting? I don't know. Meeny, meeny, miny, mo. I really like the way that came out. We could just keep playing with this stuff. All right. I don't have anything that good for the suns, except I could just go with like the dark purples and reds behind and then highlight it with the golds. At this point, this brush has been used for dark stuff, so it's kind of stuck being dark. I think I'm going to go ahead and just set this up kind of the same. Actually, you know what? Something kind of fun in doing that reverse. So here, it'd be easy to do that because we can just highlight and get you guys close. So again, you pick it up on your finger, just lay it wherever. I do this with mica powder all the time too. It's kind of how I usually use mica powder. But now in order to get any color down in there, I'd have to brush it down in. So if I wanted to leave it silver down in there, you know what we're going to do? I'm going to show you an interesting technique with this. So that's actually better to do it with acrylic paint because acrylic paint dries. We'll just play with this, whatever. It is what it is. And then like this guy, I'm just kind of mixing up that purple and that dark magenta. That dark magenta is a pretty good color. What I'm loving about this, I didn't realize, is how much of that, because I'm using it on a metallic clay, even though it's a matte colorant, because I'm kind of working it in and polishing it in and buffing it in a little bit, getting a really pretty metallic sheen on that. But yeah, so I guess let me just do these all set up to match because at this point, that's what we've done. This magenta. I'm actually going to break over and grab a little brighter purple. Brighter magenta. And wipe the mess off my finger. I don't get to wipe the mess off my finger. And I ran out of baby wipes and didn't grab another bag. Nope. All right, is what it is. I'm going to need a different finger for lighter color. Kind of want this brighter blue. too much work done over here. I can't even get it to lay any new color on, huh? There we go. I got to tone in a little bit. I think this one's worth brushing in and then painting on top. And actually like powder it a little bit and just tap it in. Tap it in. Tap, 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 tap it in. And then, like I said before, I use my brush to kind of polish it a little bit in. I just kind of twisty with the. And we got a little bit of overspray, but whatever. We're just learning how to do things. I think I've shown you this before. I want to try to get some of that back off now. We can gain a little contrast. And by the way, that's what that roller would stamp like. So that roller would stamp really good too. Most of these would actually. Moon's probably not because it wouldn't hold up and stay out. Okay, there we go. All right, let's punch that back. Now, this was the color scheme I was thinking, is throwing this actual bronzy color on top of that for the suns. There we go. So I pressed my details a little bit flat by messing around so much with the tape, trying to get the color off. There we go. Yep, those came out fine. I like that. Ooh, put a little here too. Why not? Still on my finger. Oh my goodness. Okay. So yeah, that's few sets done. Now this I'm not sure. I'm kind of thinking just the brighter colors because that already lays down so much. Because all the shadows are going to be darker. We can probably lay in here with these brighter colors. Slightly brighter magenta, didn't I, somewhere? Maybe. That's good enough. So now if I was to do this out of a black clay, I think a mica powder would be your better choice, but you could mica powder. So then all your depth details are black or dark, and then you're highlighting the top. But it still gives it just such a pretty little effect. I'm definitely not as fond of this because the moons get lost. There's my spray bottle. I'll put it away. Wow. I never do that. I might need the alcohol one, not the water. Okay. So now that we've experimented a little bit, what do we want to do for our little earring set? I really like the effect of this. Say let's do that. I think that's the best look out of all those. Except for that's pretty epic too, but that looks better for sun than it would for moonscapes. Wouldn't be bad for moonscapes, but it's definitely better for the sun. So yeah, let's go with what I came up with for that because that's probably the prettiest. All right, so fingers are mostly clean. There's a lot of pigment in those. All right, and then do we want to use the truly dark pigment or brush a little bit cleaned up? Mostly I just buy, oh, that's actually a Perfect Pearls brush that came with the Ranger stuff. Yeah, usually just buy cheapy Dollar Tree brushes because I know I'm going to destroy the heck out of them. This one, I don't want to, I don't know. What could we do with the You know what we could do with the moons? We could make the moons gold. Tap a little out, and then tap it down in. I don't know what it is about mixing silver and gold, but it's pretty too. Just want that to all make it down in there. Much more. Get down in there. I don't know if I have any room to pull back. Get rid of as much excess as possible, but there's still a bunch left. Bad teeth. If you were to try to stamp with this, you actually could stamp with this. It's just going to leave you relief of the moons like that. And so it's just going to be the outer shape of the partial moons, not actually. Hazel, what do you need, baby? You wouldn't get any of the lunar detail there. Like I said, that was where I kind of struggled figuring out how deep to make this pattern. As I was building it out, I was trying to make it where you could roll it continuously straight, but it was better to go top to bottom because otherwise it lost its shape too easily, and there was a bunch of different things going on there. So now I still kind of want to go dark purple. Is that what I want to do? What do you guys think? Let's go dark purple. I don't know why. That color's just making me happy today. Maybe because it's stormy out. I love that little bit because it's got the gold texture or the star texture to it. Pull back just a little. I don't know why one's coming out. Probably still some pink on my finger. One came out darker than the other, so if I can pull back a little color. So dark. That's so interesting. This one's not wanting to pick up quite as much color as the other one is. Hmm. There we go. Pretty covered in stuff again. All right, so now I want to do this with the brush and really push the colors in. I don't know if I'm going to go quite as dark as I did here, though. Let's try like that next tone up. So the brighter purple. Dust a little bit of that in here and there. And then brighter pinkish. So funny, I almost never gravitate toward pink, but this is a really good pink. Lay in there a little. Here's the other thing too: is you could have Skinner blend colors in clay, and then just use your brighteners, the aqua bronze, to brighten up colors too. All right, now from there, I want to go tealy one or the brighter one? Probably the brighter one. There we go. It's already dusty enough just because it's mixing into the dark purples, and silver is a little darker than it is. Oh shoot, that was supposed to go with those. No, that's going with those now apparently. Alrighty, let's get you worked in there real good. To be honest, even just like that is really pretty. I could totally leave it. Polishing you in a little and touch more of that pink there. More pink. Okie dokie. I don't think I needed to pull back. Actually, I'm not going to because I don't want to throw that away. And then this set, we're going back to silver. Again, just that finger in the top of the bottle, tap it off on the thing, and then just lightly dust. And I do want it to pick up that edging because it's a silver clay. Otherwise, except for wherever it picked up gold, hopefully it didn't. So I am letting a little bit more of that lay down. Now for this set, I want to try to only get the huggies. Nope, didn't manage that, so I'm going to go ahead and lay a little bit of silver all the way around. Again, just kind of let it edge them in. I like that. Okay, so I was going to leave these as just dangles. That's right. That was the plan. And these I want to try to make into huggies. So, smaller knife. I don't know if I'm going to end up doing anything with the other ones we painted, or I guess I'll just bake those up as they are. I don't know. Does make an interesting pendant all pieced together like that, or make them individual tiles and then figure out what I want to do with them. Actually, as each as individual tiles, they will make kind of cute pendants, so I'll separate those out. For the moment, we've got our huggies. I'm thinking we probably don't want the last of that actually wrapped, right? We probably want them to kind of that sort of a shape. To be honest, I would have been smart to put them on here first. At the bottom, I guess. Or should I flip them? Yeah, I'm gonna flip them. One start with purple, one start with blue. Oh, these are sold on Amazon as cannoli rollers, if I remember correctly. Just want this to wrap in nice and tight. I want that in to stay up. Okie dokie. Looks like that'll work. And to be honest, I can set them up like that. I don't know if that will allow it to. Yeah, that's going to end up touching stuff. So you just pour on the outer edges. You know what else I could use? Hold on. The thing. Man, I lost the thing. Where are the things? There's the things in the bead box. So these are made out of heat safe resin. Yes, it's supposed to be on the table. We'll see if I ever get to it. I need a whole nother printer to be able to print heat safe stuff. Did I keep it off? No. It might actually be able to set on this though itself. Yep, that'll work. Okay, cool. Found a way to elevate it. Hopefully I didn't mess anything up while I was playing with elevation. Yeah. So yeah, that's what's going in the oven. And I'll separate all these guys out and stick them in the oven. And yeah, some other time I will show you what we made. I'm sure because I always end up pulling stuff out when I'm working. So yeah, next time I go live, I'll give you guys a little preview of what'll happen with all this stuff. And I hope you guys enjoyed both the testing of the rollers and then the goofing off. Because it's always fun to play with stuff. You see things out and just start getting ideas and start playing around, and it just makes things more interesting. Oh, and if you guys are curious, I don't know if I ever actually showed, but pan pastel, that's what those all are. And I'll have to get them all put away in the right order, which is going to be the trickiest part. And yeah, I will see you guys the next time I have a great idea that I feel you guys need to watch me struggle through. Have a good one, y'all.